Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 9 of the Unreal Tower Defense tutorial series. Ignore the background, I'm visiting my parents right now, so this is not my usual setup. In the last episode, we dealt with the heads-up display, including the wave number, wave timer, and the currency. And in this episode, we will be dealing with the music and the sound effects. And before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to our project Lunaris, which you can check here. Now without any further ado, let's jump into the tutorial.
Now we are going to start working on sound effects and music. So first thing we need to actually import them. So let's go to our Content Assets folder and let's create a new folder, which will be our sound. And inside of it, we are going to create a music folder and a sound effects folder. And inside of our music folder, we are going to open our Medieval Conquest download. We are going to open the music folder and we are going to import the two MP3 files we have. There you go. So those two are imported now. And we are going to import the sound effects as well. Same thing, go to sound effects, just import everything. So now we have all of them here. Now for the music, we have our main menu music and our background music. So let's start by adding those. So let's open our main menu level. And inside of our main menu level, we are going to be opening our level blueprint. Here, open level blueprint. Inside of our level blueprint, we have event tick and event begin play. On our event begin play, we are going to be creating a sound component. So create sound 2D. This will allow us to create a sound component that will be playing a specific sound. Now, we do want to change a little bit our music. We want it to always be looping. We don't want it to end whenever music's over. So if we go to our music folder, so what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating a looping version of our music. So to start that, we are going to be creating an audio sound cue. We're going to call this main menu music. And our main menu music is going to be playing this. However, we want to loop it. So we are going to set its looping to true and set it to be output. Now, if we play the cue, we can hear how it sounds. Anyhow, so in our main menu, we are going to be playing our main menu music. Now, this only creates the song, it doesn't actually play it. So we are going to be doing that. We are going to be playing. So now, when we run our main menu, it should just play the music. So now that our main menu is playing the music, we are going to do the same thing for our level. So let's open our level 1. And inside of here, we are also going to be opening the level blueprint. And we'll be doing the exact same thing. So first we need to create our music. So our level music. Now our level music will be playing Epic War Background on looping. Now this music's very loud. So I will be reducing the volume multiplier. I'm going to make it 0.4. Now 0.2 seems to be more in line with our main menu music. So I'll leave it at 0.2 to be closer to the same level of music, because we don't want it to be too different between the two levels. So now level 1, we are going to create sound 2D, and we are going to add the level music and then play. Now the reason why we are creating a sound 2D instead of a localized sound is because, well, it's background music. It doesn't have location. It's just the music we are playing is different from the goblins and stuff that have a location, but even those we are going to be doing sound 2D, because it makes no sense to make it based on the distance of the camera when the camera is static. So now when we run our level 1, it should also have music. Now we want to add more sound effects because we have more stuff other than just the music, so let's start working on that. First, let's create our bomb sound effects. So for that, we are going to be entering our tower and opening our projectile and bomb. And in our bomb, in the explode event, we are going to be adding the sound effect. So here after everything. Now, because this is not a looping sound effect, we don't actually need to create a sound component. We can just play it once, so we can just do play sound 2D. Now we need to actually create our sound, although we could just use a sound wave, but it's a good idea to always have a sound cue, just in case you want to change other properties. So let's create our sound cue, and let's call it bomb. So inside of our bomb, we are going to be pulling the cannon blast and setting it to the output. Now this sound is of course very loud, so we'll be changing its multiplier volume as well. Probably 0.2 is good, let's check that. So let's just make this bomb play that. And let's see how loud it sounds in the game. Maybe a little bit too loud, or maybe just the entire volume is a bit too loud for me. I would just leave it to you. You can decide whatever volume you feel is appropriate. I'm just going to leave it at 0.2. So that's our bomb done. Now our towers, they make sounds whenever they shoot the arrows. So let's work on that as well. So first let's create our sound cue. Arrow shot. And inside of it we're just going to throw the arrow shot sound effect. This one is not too loud, but we also want to reduce it a little bit because the arrow towers shoot very fast, so we don't want it to be too noisy. Okay, now we can go to our content, tower, arrow tower, and in our attack function, whenever we do everything, before we return, we can just play a sound 2D. And that sound will be our arrow sound. So now when we open, okay. So both our bomb towers and arrow towers are working. Now our enemies need to do a sound when they die. So let's do that. So let's create enemy, and in our BP enemy we are going to create in its die function that it will play a sound 2D. So it doesn't matter if we receive the money or not, we are going to be calling destroy actor, and after that, or I guess before that, we should be calling our play sound. So what we're going to do is destroy this actor here. On cast fail, we're going to put a play sound 2D. But this will call to destroy actor. And now this will call here. So basically what we are doing here is if we have a player controller, we receive money, otherwise we just go straight to this part. Either way, it's always going to execute this part. Okay, with that said, we need a sound. So what we're going to be doing is that we're actually going to create a variable for that, which will be our def sound. And its type is going to be sound Q. And then we are going to be playing that sound. So now that we have def sound, what we can do is on our goblin and in our orc we can set its value. You can see here def sound is a variable for both of them now. That way, no matter how many enemies we create, we just need to change the def sound and nothing else. We don't need to be writing this piece of code every enemy. It's a shared function. So now let's create our sound cube. Now we have an orc def and a goblin def. So we are going to be using those, right? So we are going to create an audio sound cue, goblin def, and we are going to create another audio cue, orc def. Now our goblin def is going to call goblin def. That's very loud, so let's just make it lower as well. And then our orc def is going to call this sound orc underscore def. This one is not that loud, so I'm just going to reduce a little bit. And now on our BP goblin, we are going to call the goblin def, and in our BP orc, we are going to call the orc def. Okay. So now when they die, they should make noises. So now that that's done, we still have a few sounds to do. Every time we spend money, we want to play a sound of spent currency. And we have this UI sound for whenever we click things. So let's deal with those. So opening our UI, let's start, oh wait, this is the content. Open the UI folder where our UI is at. Let's open the main menu. And in here we want to do the play and the quit button to play the sound. So let's start with that. So let's create a sound queue for UI sounds and the spending money. Okay. So first, auto queue, spend money, and audio queue UI sounds. Now we are going to be editing those. The spend money we just call currency spent. The UI sounds we just call the UI sounds. So on our UI, we can see here our play button. If we search for sound, it has a press sound and a hover sound. So let's just put the UI sounds on the press, and the same for the quit button. So now, if we open our main menu, we can see that whenever we click the both buttons, they do make a sound, which is exactly what we want. So that part of the UI is done. The player HUD doesn't have any sounds. The tower placing and tower upgrading have sounds though. Now, we may not want to have the current spending overlapping with those buttons. It may become too much noise cluster. So in that case, we probably just want to hear the sound of the currency being spent. But instead of doing it here, every time they spend money here, the money is always spent on our player controller, so it's the place that makes the most sense to create. On our spend money function, if we do actually spend our money, we can just play sound to D. And then the sound we are going to be playing is the currency spent. Spend money. So now we can hear it every time. I'm going to reduce the volume of those bombs. They are absolutely too loud. But other than that, there you go. You can see that we have sound effects on our game now.
Well, that's it for today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, or you can join our Discord server where you can reach out to us directly. You can also follow us on Instagram for more content or join our subreddit. All the social links are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching and we will see you in the next one.